Okay, so today is the last day of the month, which is cray, September 30th. And I'm really excited for tonight's call because it's a little different. I know you guys have been experiencing the Slay Squad calls, but there's a piece of that that makes me really miss this team because it's not exclusive to us. And I feel like when we get a chance to come on just as our team, it just it brings us back together and brings us back to our roots. And today, I shared in the team page and the Difference Maker Movement page something that I wanted to share with all you guys because I feel like it reminds us of why we do what we do. And I have a coach, a personally sponsored coach. She's pretty new to our team, Amanda Miller. And when she came on board, she shared with me that a big motivator for her in getting started with her health and fitness journey was because her husband is going through his second round of chemo treatments. And it made her realize how important it is to value your health, to take care of yourself, to take care of your family. And she had been a coach years in the past, but didn't really do anything with it. And this time it was going to be different for her because she knew she wanted to go all in and dedicate 100 days to showing up for herself and for her family. So she did. And she showed up in our 100 days of showing up workout challenge group like none other. I loved seeing her post in there, and it was so inspiring. But what I didn't know was as we started to check in, behind the scenes, Shane, her husband, was getting more and more sick. And it was really hard for her because she was going from home to the hospital. They have two little boys. And a couple of days ago, her husband, Shane, passed away. It was really sudden. It was really obviously hard. And I asked Amanda if it would be okay if, even though she doesn't really know most of you guys yet, if I could share what happened with the team. Because I've been doing this for almost 8 years, and I've experienced a lot of other people's teams on the fray, speaking on team calls, going to retreats, just hearing from other leaders. And I know in my heart of hearts that we have something really different. We are a movement made up of people from all different walks of life, all different levels in this business, all different motivations. But one thing I think that you see across the board is this ability to rise up and lift each other up through any and everything. And Amanda's story breaks my heart. And I've been in regular communication with her, and she's incredible and she's strong and she's leaning on the people in her life who love her. But what it reminded me of is the fact that Beachbody coaching, for anyone out there just trying to make a quick buck or trying to sign some people up and hit Success Club or just trying to hit some goal, they don't get it. But this team is made up of people who get it. It's about something bigger than us. The fact that she had this community to lean on during that really difficult time and could show up for herself and find 30 minutes in a day to drink her shake and do her workout for her sanity and for her health to be her best self for her husband, that's so much more than a freaking shake. It's so much more than just a workout. The fact that she now has this business opportunity in front of her, if she decides she wants to utilize it to support her family now that she's lost the breadwinner in her family, is so much more than just making a little extra money. And I forget that sometimes. And what I'm going to talk about tonight, my piece of tonight's surge, is that it's really easy to get caught up in the minutia. It's really easy to forget why we do stuff like this. What an incredible gift this opportunity actually is, and how we can pay it forward and give it to people so that it can change their lives. There are people on this call that you're going to hear from tonight, some of the leaders who attended my leadership retreat out here in Wisconsin. This opportunity has changed their lives. It hasn't kind of made them a little extra money. It hasn't just helped them drop some pounds. It has been the catalyst for them to live differently. It is affecting more than just them. It is the tool that they use to serve people. It is the platform that they use to build a business that they can go on to make an impact in the world and in their own families and with their income. And I asked you guys and I challenged you guys to show up tonight because you can. You have this incredible gift, not just in this business, in you, in who you are. And you can sculpt this thing into whatever you want it to be if you're willing to show up for it. So I'm grateful that Amanda allowed me to share with you guys, mostly because I know you guys will rally around her. Even if you don't know her, you will rally around her. You will pray for her. You will lift her up with love and support. And she's so deserving of that. And I don't think she fully understands yet how much of an incredible blessing this team and this opportunity really is going to be. So in that vein, I want to thank you guys for being here tonight and remind you guys the concept of tonight's call. So we just came off of an incredible leadership retreat with about, I think there were 13 of us total at this event out here in Wisconsin. And I've asked some of the ladies that attended to be a part of this surge tonight, because so much of this business has to do with our energy and our vision and our passion and our commitment to it and what we most want to do with it. We've all experienced the ebbs and flows of Beachbody. We've experienced the ebbs and flows of our own personal lives getting in the way of us pursuing what we say we most want. So tonight is all about bringing that energy back into this team, bringing that energy individually to each and every one of us so that we can go out and do this thing, so that we can make our impact, make an income, and really change the course of not just our own lives, but the lives of the people that we get to encounter and touch. So I also want to remind you guys that today the work launched. Now, I don't know if you saw my stories, but I went downstairs at the end of Michael finishing day one of the work, and he was like, I've never seen him quite like this before. I walked in and I'm filming. He's like beet red. He can hardly breathe. He can hardly talk. And he's like, I'm so glad you came. I thought I was going to pass out. He was glad I was physically present in case he keeled over. So the work is here. We are going to do a team-wide challenge group in a couple of weeks. You'll see all the announcements on that in the team page. But get your hands on it. We got ours. I'm super pumped for it because I personally like that kind of workout. I do really well with someone like that, pushing me, kind of yelling at me, maybe dropping a few F-bombs. I don't know. That just worked for me. But there is the explicit and non-explicit version if that's not your jam. But tonight, my little piece of the surge is kind of a humbling thing to share. Today's the last day of the month. As of yesterday morning, I was still at Success Club 0 on the second to last day of the month. It was a month of planning for this retreat that I held. And then, as the girls know that were there, getting ridiculously sick and then still having bronchitis now and struggling with it. But I've never missed Success Club in all my time as a coach. And I've started to realize that my worth was being dictated by a number, by an accolade, by Success Club. And I think we do that sometimes. And what happens is then when we miss the goal, we think it was really all about the goal. We think it was really about Success Club. And I forgot that all these years, 7 years I've hit Success Club, all these years, month after month of hitting Success Club, it has never been about Success Club, guys. Those numbers, those points represent human beings who I've gotten these products that change lives and this business opportunities that change lives into their hands. It's not about the end goal. So if you have pushed for a goal and fallen short, and then you let that defeat you to the point where you feel like it was actually all about that goal all along, you're missing the point. You've lost sight of your vision. You've lost sight of why you are here. So yes, Jessica, Lanier, and I have been kind of going back and forth as pushing each other because we're two people who always hit Success Club, usually Success Club 10. And we were both sitting at Success Club 0 as of yesterday. And we were really challenging ourselves to push for this thing. And as of today, I think I had 2 in the morning. I had finally had one person agree. And I was going back and forth between how can I push for this so that I give it all that I've got until the last possible second of this month, but then be able to focus on the big picture, no matter what that end result was. And that's one of the hardest things to do as a coach, because we set goals and they do matter because they ultimately become the stepping stones to get to the vision. But we also fall short of goals. So how can we set concrete goals in this business, rank, Success Club, income goals, volume goals, but have the grit to push through them no matter what the end result of those little goals are, because we're not here for the friggin' little goals. We're here for the big vision. We're here for people like Amanda. We're here for people like Shane who can't be here doing this. We're showing up because we can. So I'm happy to report with all of, I'm telling you, I have never had more freaking conversations. And if you know me, you know I'm an introvert and I hate having these conversations, but I was not I can be okay with missing Success Club. I can't be okay with giving up a day before the calendar passes. I can't be okay with that. So I am currently at Success Club 8. I got another 2 since we last talked, Jessica, all of which came in today, the last day of the month. And I didn't have to call in any favors or hound friends and family. This was because I was hustling my buns off. And it was humbling, and it was a good reminder of how hard things can be when you don't set yourself up and sow the seeds throughout the course of the month and the previous months. It catches up with you. It caught up with me. And for anyone that thinks that I don't have to hustle for Success Club, you're crazy. The last several years, every single month, there's this little moment where I'm like, am I going to hit it this month? I am never hitting it with ease. So I just wanted to share that with you guys so that you don't think that I have some magic lead producing system that just dumps people into my account. It requires a lot of hustle a lot of the time. So I am done my rant, and I want to pass it off to our next leader who's going to share tonight. And I am so pumped. I think she's on. I just can't see everybody. To pass it along to Dana. You guys all know and love Dana, and you're going to hear from the ladies just something that they took away from this leadership retreat experience that I think will be really impactful for you, that you can apply to your own life and really absorb as your own. So Dana, I'm going to pass it off to you. I don't know where you are because I can't see you on the main screen, but I know you're here. I think you're here.
She is here. I don't know if she thought the call was at 8:30. So she's
okay. Well,
but she is. I see her. Oh, it said she was just logging in. Oh, there she is. Good timing, Dana.
You're up, sister. No pressure. Here, I can unmute you. Oh no, I can't. I tried. It didn't work. No, you're still muted. What the heck? And it won't let me unmute. Let's see.
Hi.
Okay, there you go.
My computer was frozen. Super sorry. I was having a little bit of a crash from the ultimate reset tonight, so I was thinking 8:30 rather than 8. But hey, guys. So I wanted to share a little bit tonight about my experience at the retreat and what really spoke to me, and just the importance of just vision and staying connected to that. So this retreat, we did an exercise. I don't think you shared any of this kind of stuff in the team page, Liz, but we did an exercise where we all went around and had these sheets where there were things about had we faced hardships in the last year, had we faced failures, had we struggled with doubts, had we struggled with feeling like we had let our teams down, all of these things. And I know for me, it was super impactful to see that that everyone struggles with these things, that we are not alone in these hardships we face in our businesses and these challenges and these ups and these downs and these ebbs and these flows. Because a lot of times when we're in kind of a struggle season in our lives or even in our businesses, we tend to feel like we're the only ones and no one gets it and everybody's doing better than us, and that everyone has it all figured out and we don't, right? We all have phases of seasons that we go through. So that was super impactful for me. And I know I went into this retreat really looking to just reconnect to myself and a bigger vision of why I'm here, because after this last year of just a lot of hardship in my last in the last year of my life, I was kind of feeling a little disconnected. And I know that sometimes we're afraid to admit that when we feel that too, is, you know, maybe you're struggling a little bit with feeling connected to your purpose here, or your passion as a coach, or why you love showing up for this, or why it's so impactful for you, even if it's completely changed your life, right? And so for me, it was something that I have been seeking to really get reconnected to that fire inside myself, that fire in my belly that, you know, gets you out of bed in the morning, where you just cannot wait to sit down and work your business, and feel so connected to that. And so we had a lot of masterminds just about the importance of a vision and the importance of a why. And so I just wanted to share a few things, is that you know, if you've gotten comfortable in your business, if you have achieved certain things that you set out to do, sometimes we get comfortable. You know, if you had a vision and maybe it really wasn't your true vision at the core, it doesn't resonate with you, or there's the next level of your life that you really want to achieve, it is so important to really work to get reconnected to that if you're feeling disconnected, or sit down and do exercises to prompt yourself to really dig deeper. And I know that was the case for me, because I've achieved a lot of the things that I had come into this business to do. And like I said, sometimes just like in the beginning, when you're a new coach, thinking of a why and thinking of a vision like terrifies you, because you've never dreamed that big of your life. And you're like, I don't know if this is really possible for me. It's the same thing at every level we go to. The next level of goals you're going to strive for, the grander vision you have for your life. But it's really important to sit down and give yourself some space and some grace and some time to really dig into those feelings and those emotions of what you want your life to look like, how you want it to feel, and how your business can serve you in getting to those things. Because I know that if we don't have vision, we perish. And when we do, we're capable of absolutely anything and just completely unstoppable. So I hope that if you've never done the 7-layer exercise of the 7 levels of why, we did that at the retreat too, and I could share. I think it's called 7levelsdeep.com. You can do the same exercise. But it really prompts you to write out a goal or what your vision is, and then dig deeper, 7 layers deep of why that is so important to you. And you would be absolutely mind blown of the answers that you find of why it is that you're really here and why it is what you want, or what you really want. So if you are feeling stuck or you haven't gotten clarity of what your vision is, I would highly suggest doing that exercise, because it is it'll change your life. It is such a game changer to know the true core reasons and motivations of what you're showing up for, and letting those things drive you every day. So that's all I've got to say.
Okay, thanks, Dana. And yeah, I can't recommend that exercise enough. I had never heard of it in all these years, and then I heard of it and I did it for myself, and I was absolutely shocked by what my real why is. And I wish I had known sooner, especially over a couple of years of feeling like I'd lost my luster in the business. So highly recommend it. And I'm happy to share the one that I have within the team page too. So up next is Annalisa. So I'm going to mute myself again and pass it off to you, Annalisa.
Hi guys, I'm Annalisa. Lots of new faces on here who I don't know quite yet. My computer just did something wacky. There we go. So I am a super practical, applied, give me something tangible that I can implement into my business kind of person. So you hear from all of these amazing people about vision and passion, and obviously this is the root and the foundation of your business. You need to have that to make any of these things important, or to implement any of these things. So start there. But what I was really happy to have had the opportunity to attend this event in the first place. But every year, Elizabeth invites Kim Carver to come to these retreats. And he is one of my absolute favorite people, not only in like the Beachbody community, like probably in the world. So he just speaks with such knowledge and such passion and such sort of depth into what we're doing. And so I wanted to share a couple of things that he shared with us, and some exciting news to help you guys take something and move forward with it as soon as tomorrow, which is exciting. Actually, as soon as today, but I'll tell you about that in a second. So the thing that Kim Carver, he said two things. He said that the compensation plan pays when there's volume in it. So for what that means for us is that we have to have customers every month, like Elizabeth's talking about getting those Success Club points, growing your volume that way, growing your commission that way. But also, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. But getting Success Club points for putting volume into your business, but also the importance of getting coaches on our teams. Because if we are just going for Success Club points and you're just saying, phew, I helped 3 people this month, good riddance, like I got them, let's move on to the next month, your business is going to be in a stalemate. Like you are going to get those people in September and then they're going to cancel in 3 weeks because you didn't follow up with them, because you didn't do anything to host them or to create like this incredible experience with them. And they're going to cancel their Shakeology, and they're going to cancel the, BOD in a year or whatever. They're going to cancel those ongoing products because to them that conversation was just okay, let's sign up for this and then I'll cancel it, right? If you want to grow volume in your business, you have to have that residual income. You have to have people staying on Shakeology, staying on Energize, adding beach bars to their thing. So acquisition and retention are the 2 components that will drive your business forward. We get Success Club points through acquisition, right? But retention and residual income comes through keeping those people in your business, but also the power of encouraging them to embrace the coaching opportunity. That is the best way, in my opinion, to have people stay on your team, stay with you for the course, get in every challenge group, because they are also generating a business from this and they see the power of that. So if you're just inviting people to your challenge groups just for Success Club points, but you have no plan to keep them involved, you're going to be getting like commission-based each month, but you're not going to have any growing income. So keep that in mind. Acquisition and retention are the keys to success in your business. Getting paid is based on volume. And Lindsay Stay said, many streams make for great outcomes. One big river, basically. So even if you don't have, 5 people doing massive amounts of work and growing teams, if all of those people, if you can encourage everyone you talk to just invite 2 people to join them to get on Shakeology, all of that volume is going to be growing. So instead of trying to think of I need 1 5-star diamond on my team on this leg, just encourage everyone to share with 1 or 2 people. And that would generate more Shakeology orders in your account, more volume, more income. So that was one kind of thing that I just kind of keep in mind. It's little, the compound effect. If you guys have read that or heard of that, little bits of things make for big, great results. But retention is key. So we talked about some ideas for that as a team. We kind of talked about having Google form check-ins. So after you start a challenge group, you're sending out a weekly Google form or something to check in with your challengers to see how they're feeling with their Shakeology. And you're just making sure that you're following up with those people, because the work starts when they make that purchase, right? It doesn't end when they make that purchase and you get Success Club points. That's when your relationship really starts with them, to host them, get them results. That's the purpose of our business. But the other thing I really wanted to share is really exciting to me, because Beachbody is speaking my language when they want to keep things simple, right? We onboard new coaches all the time, and I have been a coach for 6 years, and my onboarding process has changed 1,000 times, and it just always seems like it's overwhelming to people, or people get started and they're just bogged down with all the information that I accrued over 6 years. when I need to remember that when I first started, I didn't know anything, and I still saw success within that first month. And I hit Success Club every month from that first month. Like Success Starters. I mean, I just hit the ground running and I did it. And I didn't know all the things I know now. So we want to keep things simple. So Beachbody has launched a brand new coach training. It is no longer the first 30. They got rid of that whole thing, and it's super, super simple. So I'm going to share my screen really quick for you guys to show you. This should work. Let's see. Okay, you guys should see the coach office right now. Is that true? Okay. So the new coach training is a total of 5 videos. You see them all right here. And to complete the entire training, it would take somebody 22 minutes. So how awesome that a coach can come in here, stay excited, be super excited, and are like, okay, I want to dive in. And you're not like, well, you have 30 days of training ahead of you before you start implementing. This training is designed to get people off the ground, running, knowing exactly what they need to know to get things started. And all I'm going to do is kind of give you the background of what these videos are, and you guys can go explore them. But the first video is setting up their coach online office. Sorry, first they get a welcome email. And in the welcome email, it directs them to where to find this. And so you, as coaches, we can be on top of this. We know they're getting this welcome email. We know what to expect. We know they're going to have direction to go and see these videos. But we can say, okay, follow up with them. Did you go in there? Did you watch the 5 videos on X, Y, and Z? So having a system for your own personal business and not just relying on what Beachbody did and sent, but to actually have some collaboration here. So the first one is navigating your coach online office. Pretty straightforward, simple things. Some things they're not going to need to know right away, but at least they know where to find it. The second video is setting up your business. It's about 3 minutes. It goes over how to set up your websites and how to set up your direct deposit. Very important things. The third one is where like the meat of their getting started happens. This is where it's an 8-minute video, but they talk about how to get started with your warm market, which essentially means how to talk to people you already know outside of social media. Your first challengers, your first clients, your first customers can generally be your family members, people that you're really close to. I don't know. I think it starts tomorrow officially. The official first day was October 1st, and I just happened to catch these videos today after asking Kim about it. So I think as of tomorrow, that's when the new coach emails will go out. And yes, you can watch these. They're in your, sorry, I'm just reading the chat as I go here, but they're under training in your coach online office and then getting started. That's where you'll find them all. Okay, oops. Oh my word. Hold on a second. Okay. So the third one is talking to your warm market, but it also talks to share a cart, tells you exactly how to enroll somebody, but it also gives you an exact example where they're showing you the chat. So Keyshawn Graves is the one speaking in that video, and she goes through what to say to somebody to invite them, how to post on social media your first coming out post, how to respond to those people who like and comment. So it's really like meaty. It's a really awesome, clear-cut video on the how-to. And she tells you to like stop, pause the video, write down people that you're going to invite to this, and it's really kind of interactive and prompts some calls to action. So the third video talks about, what did I say, who to connect with, your first social media post, share a cart, and my challenge tracker. So it's basically like getting set up for your first challenge group. Some of the coaches that we have on our team won't do that right away and they'll join ours, but it's all in there for them. The fourth is Intro to Success Club. They talk about the business activity tracker. And the 4 vital behaviors. And then the fifth one is learning about Shakeology, right? So we want our new coaches to understand the importance of Shakeology. That's what's going to drive their business. That's what's going to drive our business. And that's really where the magic happens in their nutrition and their challenge groups. So there's also links in here. So my point is, new coach training, get familiar with it, use it, keeps it super simple, and it's easy to duplicate. So when you get new coaches on your team, you can tell them, now when you enroll a new coach, direct them here, right? How simple is that? And there's awesome links attached to some of them about making your list of connections, making a coming out post, using your promo codes, and some examples of what to say to people. So really, really, really cool, tangible stuff. How do I stop my screen share? Sorry. And I wanted to share that because I know for me, I like to keep things simple, but I like to have a plan of what am I going to do now? I need to revamp and I got to recreate this wheel, and you don't have to recreate the wheel at all. Some of your uplines may already have a coach training that's working perfectly, but if not, use what's already there. Use it and run with it, personalize it however you want to. But I think there's going to be magic in keeping it simple for our new coaches who come on and then they get like stage fright because we've bogged them down with how to post on social media, how to do Instagram stories, how to tag, all the things that we have learned along the way. When first and foremost, it's just important to do the program and talk about it, right? All right, so that's my big takeaway. Love Kim Carver. If you don't follow him, and utilize the new coach training.
Thanks, Annalisa. I'm so glad you focused on that because I think it's going to be such a powerful tool. And I know a lot of new coaches come in feeling like they don't know how to train their people because it feels complicated, but everybody knows how what the ones that have seen success right out of the gate did exactly what you said. They come in, they do a program 100%, they share about it, and they lead with that excitement and that passion. So for anyone on this call that's just kind of feeling stuck right now, when was the last time you went all in on a program, drank your shake 7 days a week, shared the journey with excitement, and invited other people to join you? Like, watered down, that's our business model. And that's how people become passionate about coaching, because they have their own personal experience that becomes something that's like a major catalyst for change in their lives. So thank you, Annalisa. That was spot on. And
I also just wanted to say the power of retreat. I know I focus on the tangible things and I love that stuff, but if you guys have not gone to events or not pushed to get to a retreat, like everybody who comes back from that, there's just this new fire in their belly, right? There's this new energy, new fire. They've connected with other people. So the biggest takeaway I have from the whole event is just being there and being a part of it. So I highly recommend going, but you're learning about little bits of it from everyone who went there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's everything from summit to leadership or new leader conference. I mean, there are just so many different opportunities that even Success Club trip, that opportunities that Beachbody puts out there that are available to us, some of which we have to earn, some of which we don't. We just have to go. Summit, even Success Club trip, you just have to be doing the basic things and helping couple people each month. And I think another thing, Annalise, I just wanted to highlight because I think it was so perfect, was that reminder that you can't just like love them then leave them, like sign up 3 people and then move on to the next month. Like, that's not what we do. That's not how you're going to build a team. That's not how you're going to retain the people that you have. So I've gone through periods where my acquisition sucks but my retention is great, and then the reverse of that, like where my retention is brutal, but I'm bringing in new people. And I've gone through periods where they both suck. So it's really important to remember that, retaining the people you have, nurturing the people you have, going back to the people you've lost and seeing how you can help. It's all just it's another way that you can grow your business, but really help your people. Okay, now we're going to pass it off to Danielle. Are you there?
I'm here. Hi. Can you hear me? Everybody good? Yeah, okay. Sometimes these headphones are jerks. Okay. Hi everybody. All right. So sharing about retreat. I've been a coach for almost 6 years. And I have seen pretty much almost every recognizable success that I wanted to see in my business. I was, Success Club All-Star legend, 6-star diamond, top 200 elite. I retired from my full-time job and was working from home full-time with my kids. I basically accomplished exactly what I set out to do when I first signed up as a coach. And then, it was funny because Dana talked earlier about failure and how we all go through spells of feeling like a failure or feeling like we're letting ourselves down or, doubts. I went through the biggest season of failure I've ever experienced. And I hate the word failure because I feel like it's so final. I feel like it's so definite. And I'm a big believer in, you don't fail unless you completely stop trying. And I did that for a while, which is why I feel like I'm allowed to say failure in this situation, is that I to go along with what Kelsey just typed, I sat my ass down and I sat there for a long time. I embraced the failure. I embraced the dark. I pushed away this community that Liz talked about earlier and how important it is and how wonderful it is. And I had a lot of shit to work through for myself. And instead of leading into the community, I ran away and I put it all on myself instead of taking a step back and realizing what it was. However, it also led me to a season of learning and growth for myself as a person. And coming back into the business, I definitely have a lot of experience that I can talk to now. And I want to be able to share this with you because I feel like, if you're a new coach, you might feel some of those what I want to call smaller hiccups along the way, I missed Success Club 10 for the first time, or I got my first rejection, or, I forgot to post today, or those things that, feel so big in the moment and they're not. I just want to tell you, they're not. They might feel big, but they're not. They're only big if you let them be big. Even the big stuff. If I would have 2 years ago leaned into the community and let it do what it's meant to do, I hate to think about where I would be now because I sat down. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm here and I'm going to keep going. And that's what matters. Everyone falls short in their own way, be it big or small. It doesn't matter. What matters is if you get up, like Kelsey said, get your ass back up and do it anyway. So if you miss Success Club, it's the 30th. You're sitting at 0. You're like, there's no way in hell I'm going to hit it. I'm going to try, but I'm not going to, it doesn't happen, right? Let's say you wake up tomorrow and you didn't do it. Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new month. It's a new chance to start again. That's what matters. So if you're struggling, my biggest advice is to lean into the community, lean into the people here. If it's not your upline, then the people around you, complete strangers, it doesn't matter. The team page is there for a reason. It's there to help you. Lean into that. I had a really, really big moment this year at Summit too, that so many people that I had avoided just because I had fallen into this pit of comparison, or, they're still going and doing awesome things. And here I am sitting here doing nothing. And they treated me like I was family. They grabbed me and hugged me and said, "Oh my God, I'm so glad to see you. I missed you. This is so great." And it is so powerful. For those of you that did that, it affected me more than you could possibly know. This retreat was the same thing. I went into it with the same mindset I had 6 years ago. I want to learn, I want to absorb, I want to just be there and just take everything I can from this. And that's how you should approach every single event, whether you've been around for 6 days or 6 years or 16 years when the time comes. It doesn't matter. Work for these events, go to them with a really, really open mind and heart, and they will speak to you in ways you can't possibly imagine. So if you're struggling, if you are sitting there like, damn, you know, my house is a mess, and my husband doesn't support me, and the kid is crying, and I didn't hit Success Club, and everything's falling apart. We've all been there in some way. Trust me, we have all been there. You are not alone. Please do not feel like you're alone, and just figure out a way to keep going, because that's the part that matters.
Amen. Amen, Dee. That was solid. And I just want to say that your resilience and your willingness to show up for yourself and to rise back up and to lean back into the community and to share tonight, which, by the way, you're like insanely well spoken. The way you just presented all of that was just so well said. I have very little to add because I feel like you hit it on the head so well. I'm proud of you, and I feel like you're such a gift to the team, because we need, like, I don't do a good job of that, of sharing the tough times, and we need more of that from us leaders, to let the community know that this isn't, you know, we're not immune to that. We didn't just get lucky and have all this success. Like, there's so much going on behind the scenes in every one of our lives. So you nailed it, and thank you for sharing it. And I'm going to pass it along now to Jessica. Where you at, girl? There you are.
Here. Hey.
I see you.
Okay, Danielle, that was so awesome. So good. I think that that's something in our, just in the nature of what we do in general, that we don't talk about our failures enough. And it's so encouraging to know that people set goals and miss them. Or it's so weird, but in our business, it's so encouraging to know that some people struggle and that we're not the only ones. And that's something that this retreat was so powerful. It was one of the things why it was so powerful, because we're sitting in this room of these women that I've looked up to so much. And, you know, some of the exercises where you hear everyone is in this place of just like, yeah, we work our asses off, and it's hard sometimes, you know, and all of us have to adjust all the time. And it's not something that I think that we talk about very often. And this has been a season for me of needing to take a step back and look at my business, the way that I'm running it, and make some adjustments so that I don't end up in the hospital like I did at the beginning of this month, because of stress of life and stress of, it wasn't necessarily stress of business, but stress of life, and I wasn't prioritizing sleep. It's kind of important. So for me, I really sat back and listened, and Kim Carver was so powerful in the wisdom that he brought us and what it actually looks like to grow a successful business, and the fact that what we usually celebrate it's not everything. And I'm someone that has been as I felt like a Success Club for Life junkie. And this is one of the things that I've been talking with Liz about, is like, why? Yes, it's important because I want to always be moving my business forward. But why does I put so much self-worth on that? And when I think about it, it's ridiculous, because I'm like, what does that even mean? I get a lanyard at Summit that I end up, like, my kids play with, ends up in their toy bin. You know, like, why am I putting so much weight on it? And like Liz had said, it is the people. It is important for us to constantly move our business forward, but it's not everything. And so what I wanted to share with you guys, that I think the biggest thing that a bunch of different life lessons, especially this retreat, has been teaching me, is that some of us, myself, I've tried to make this complicated subconsciously, like not intentionally, but I've made my business so complicated, and I carried the weight of my responsibility to make my coaches successful. And I've tried to make it easy for them by doing all the work for them. Let me make your marketing plan. Like, let me write out all your invites and all your follow-up scripts for you so that you have something. Let me make this as easy as possible. And then Kim had said something that was so like a light bulb moment in my head. And he and Liz had shared this as well, that if we try to make things easy on our coaches, we're creating dependent coaches that have to be spoon-fed in order to be successful. And I was like, oh, shoot, that is not what I want. And Liz had said too, like, you'll never see a truly successful coach who was also dependent on, like, everyone's independent. And I looked around the table and we all came from a place of having to figure it out on our own. I don't know if you guys know this, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, we have incredible leadership, and Liz has really given us this space of this is the direction that you need to go. These are the tools to get there. You have everything. Now you kind of get to be creative and figure out what this looks like for you. And so I look back to how I signed up. Literally, I reached out to a stranger who had awesome abs on the internet, Elizabeth Hartkey. Had no idea who she was. I signed up and I said, I don't want anything to do with coaching because I have a baby and I'm going back to work in prison. I don't have the time. And she said, no problem. Here is a super simple Word document of the steps the steps to sign someone up just in case anyone wants to do this with you. And I was like, oh, cool. And she didn't even say, like, invite people to do it with you. She just said, here's how you could sign someone up if you wanted to. And I signed 4 people up in 3 days with a coach membership because I was like, it's a no-brainer. And then I think about how am I like helping my new coaches get started? Well, I obviously have to have a complicated new coach starting process with a checklist and videos and PDF handouts to make things really simple. And then they need to know about Success Club, and they need to know about Success Starters, and they need to know about the cruises, and they need to have an idea of what they're going to earn. And they also need to know about social media because God forbid that they post something bad on the internet and it makes them look cheesy. And I'm like, what am I doing? And so much of this for me has been learning to work smarter, learning to simplify my business, learning to streamline things. We did an awesome exercise where we wrote out everything we do in a day with our business, laundry, like all the different things. And then there was an option, I can't remember all of them, but it was like to delegate or to streamline it or to outsource or something. And I don't remember all the options. That's so horrible. But it was so great because it was like, what can I simplify in my life? Because you guys, this business, we do work our asses off, but we're not supposed to be in the grind all the time to where we don't enjoy our lives. That's not what it's about, right? And then I also realized as I'm making things super complicated for myself to make things easier on my coaches, subliminally, I'm teaching them that if they ever want to be at my rank or my success level, that they're going to have to figure out how to do all the complicated shit that I'm doing. And people don't want to do that. They're like, and I've had people say, Jessica, you work a lot. Like, I don't know if I really want that. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Like, I'm doing all this for you. And it's made so much sense to me. Like, so many clarifying moments of my job as a leader is not to make things easier for people. My job is to keep things simple and show people how they could essentially fit this in. My job is to be relatable as a busy mom. My job is to show Mary from North Dakota that she could do this too. You don't have to have all this background and be able to do all these complicated email campaigns and have a crazy social media. And like, Mary could totally do it with no social media. One of my favorite examples, because as a nurse, I get a lot of people saying like, oh, do I have to have these? I'm like, no, like my coach is Italian and she loves wine. Like I remember Liz saying that one day and I use it all the time. Like you don't have to have any kind of background. And I think that's what I love about this business and I want to encourage you guys, like use what you have. Use the incredible tools that we have in the Difference Maker page. Like, have you guys looked at the resources and the units? Use the Beachbody Champions page. Use the new coach training. Don't go and have to reformulate everything because, like, what are you doing? Instead, talk to people. Like, talk to more people and show them how simple it is to get started on their journey and how simple it is to start a business. Like, you just get people started. Kim had shared with us that they studied new coaches and 75% of the new coaches were customers first and they didn't have any training. They just text or called their family or close friends and said, hey, do this with me. And that's how they got started. And then, yes, there's a place for training down the road. Like okay, so you do want to make this an actual business. We have to have strategy with that. But they don't need to know everything in the beginning. They just need to know how to make some money in the beginning to get their stuff paid for. And that's it. And that's been really, really eye-opening. And I'm so glad that Beachbody is shifting that way. I think our team, I think that for a lot of us, we're just making that shift. There's a book, I don't remember if I've been sharing it with like the whole entire world, that I read that's called Freakishly Effective Leadership, something like that, for network marketing. I'm butchering. I'll put it in our team page, but it changed everything for me. And I shared it with Kels, and I know that she really loved it. I shared it at the round table and some other, like Z Slingsby was like, this changed everything for me. I'm making things 10 million times harder than they need to be. So I want to encourage you, no matter where you're at in the business, keep it simple, work hard at the simple stuff, and just love on people. Meet them where they're at, help them get started. That's our mission. And learn network marketing. That's what we're in. Don't be ashamed of it. Like, we have to learn that this is the best business model in the world, and learn why. Go read GoPro. I can't believe that it's taken me forever to read that book. Go read it, and it will change everything. Like, this is a business, and we should know how to capitalize on that. So that's all I got.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that you said it's not our job to make it easy for them. It's our job to make it simple. And it really is simple. Like, I know that there are people on this call right now thinking, oh, she just like oversimplified this. It's not that easy. It's like, no, it's not always easy, but it is simple. And you can just lead with that servant's heart of, I know I can help you. Like, I know I have something that I can guide you through that's going to like get you to where you want to go. And it's just so, so powerful. So thank you, Jess, because, and on that same note that you were just saying, like, I remember for a long time trying to find different ways to say what I do so it didn't sound like I was in network marketing, because I had my own preconceived notions of what this business was. It is what it is. It's one of the best business models that exists. It's one of the few business models that allows you to build an increasing passive income. You know what a passive income is? A passive income is an income where you don't have to be doing the work, and the income is still passively coming in. So there are very few models like that. Like Michael and I were talking the other day about the fact that there are people who become doctors and lawyers, and one, they have to pay a buttload to become that, right? Like what they have to pay and what they take out in loans is disturbing. That's a whole other issue. Okay. But then they make their money when they are physically present doing the work. They are not earning a passive income. We have the ability to out-earn people who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get their foot in the door, and then have to work all the time. Like, they don't have that quality of life or that freedom of time because they have to be there doing the thing. So that's another thing. It's like, yes, there's a lot of stigma around network marketing. Be the one that teaches people what it truly is and how powerful it really is. And be the one that shows them, oh, no, I thought that too. Take me by the hand. Let me take you by the hand and show you what this really is and how it can change your life. Because this is a business. And reading books like GoPro and whatever that other one was, Freakishly Effective Leadership for Network Marketing, like, that's how you're going to learn and grow. So yes, you have to do the simple, basic things, but also treat it like a business and understand what this business really is and the potential behind it. Okay, so we have our closer, Miss Kelsey. You want to unmute for us?
Yeah. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, but I'm trying to find you. Oh, wait, and it might not be just our closer, because I see Candice on here and I'm going to make her really uncomfortable and ask her to speak to after Kelsey.
I was going to say at the beginning of this is that I know at Summit, whenever that last speaker comes on and everybody just like puts their pencils down and starts pulling out their phones and zoning out, I'm going to highly encourage you guys to stay on the call to finish this out, because I promise I'm going to make it worth your while. I am always put last because I like to end things on a very saucy note. That's just my personality. That is who I am. And I think that the topic and my takeaway from this retreat is going to be something that if you are trying to build a very sustainable, big business, this is going to be something that you need to know. And the quicker that you learn this, the better off you guys are going to be. So if I'm being honest, I actually went into this retreat looking for some clarity on why my team was at a standstill. And you guys can post in chat if you felt that before. You're like, why is nobody doing anything? Why is nothing happening? I've been in what I'm going to call an, in quotes, growth period this year. And by that, I mean, it's been a pretty tough one for me. I actually ended 2018 in a very special place, and 2019 just has not followed suit. And I'm not saying this has been a failure of a year by any means, but it's just been different for me. It's taken a lot of learning experiences for me to kind of wrap my brain around where my business is going. It just seemed like last year I had coaches that were coming into my team who I was vibing with right off the bat. You know, they would take action, just like kind of like, there were those coaches that Jessica was just talking about that would just take action on their own. They did everything that they needed to do. They figured it out. And I had 5 diamonds advance on my team in 2018. This year I've had 0 diamonds advance. And it's been really tough to get a coach to duplicate and just pretty much stay on my team. And in all honesty, I went to this retreat hoping that somebody would tell me how to get my coaches to duplicate what I was doing. And what I ended up finding out was the polar opposite. And what I appreciate about these retreats so much is that when you get around other leaders, they don't start filling your ears with what they think you want to hear. They take time to tell you exactly what you need to hear. And sometimes you need somebody to kind of look at your business from the outside to really see what's going on. But what I was told, I will not lie, I hated immensely, but it was super true. I was managing over leading. I was doing everything for my team. I was never allowing them to grow, create, or fall flat on their faces. I was never allowing them to find their own voice. I was enabling laziness because I would do it anyway. I was essentially sharing that my way of doing things was the right way without actually saying that. And then if somebody was doing it differently than me, then it was the wrong way. And in turn, my coaches were not duplicating because they didn't have the same vision of success that I did. They looked at everything I did and they thought, holy shit, I have to do all of that to be successful. And then they would run the opposite way because my workload literally was nothing that anybody else wanted to do. And when I went to this retreat, what I learned is that I didn't really fail my team, but I did coddle them. You know, I never forced them out of the nest, and I never made them figure things out on their own. I never created independence from the very beginning. And I know that stems from a lot of personal stuff that I had to kind of admit openly to myself on why I wouldn't let go, why I was such a control freak in this department. You know, but really what I learned is that if I want to build $1 million business, which is my goal, and to have financial freedom and to give my family the life I know they deserve, then I have to let go. I have to take a step back and I have to let my leaders lead. They have to lead their way, not my way. And they have to figure this thing out on their own. The way that I lead is not like my upline leads. The way that my upline leads is not like her upline leads, and it can go all the way up the chain. We all lead extremely different, and the reason that's happened is because no one ever prevented us and told us that this is the way it had to be done in order to be successful. They said, hey, here's a blueprint. Now take this and go make it your own. Like I said, my upline and I are completely different leaders. Like if we are night and day when it comes to this stuff, but we are all both successful in our own way. You know, I don't need to push people out of I do need to push people outside of the nest, not be so readily available to them. You know, allow them to shine and to take ownership of their businesses. But that doesn't mean that I don't have to help them. I'm going to do the things that I know I need to do to get them started correctly. You know, I know that I have that effective new coach training. I know that I can do my weekly check-ins with them. And I know that I will always make time for coaches who deserve my time. But I am realizing that I do have to let them grow and that I can only do so much for them. You know, I can't hold them to hold their hand to the finish line. That's not how this works. And that one thing I had to realize is that not everyone is going to want this like I do. And you can't make people do things, but the ones who want to do things, they will. It's that simple. And in that book Jessica was just talking about, in the book that I'm reading and sort of using as my Bible right now, I learned something, and it's the truth. It's the God honest truth. 80% of people who join a network marketing company have only a desire to earn $0 to $500 a month. And that was like the biggest like wake up call to me. That means that they have little desire to lead a team. So trying to burden them to learn leadership is super unnecessary, because those people just want to be customers. They just want to attend the live events. They just want to sell a few products every once in a while and earn a few extra bucks. Maybe they just want to take a selfie with you. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, that's what they came into this business for. And there's no reason to push your desires and what you want for them onto them when they have no desire to do it for themselves. Because the one thing that I love about that book is it says no one will ever do something that's above what they desire. And it's so freaking true. Then there's the next 15% that want to earn $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And then those people are the ones you teach to build a small team. And I know you might be thinking to yourself, 1,000 to 2,000, a small team? Yeah, a small team. Because then there's the rest of us, the 5%, the elite percent that are trying to earn $25K a month and more. And they want the financial freedom, and they want to hustle, and they want to do all these things. And they want it so bad that you can give them the bad set of instructions, and they're going to do whatever they can to make it happen. These people are super relentless, and they're results focused. And I fall into this category, but because these people in this category have a huge problem. They think everybody should be 5%ers just like them. And this creates an issue in leadership. You know, they want everyone to be like them, but some people, like I said, have zero desire to do it. They just want a place to belong. They want to just be a part of something. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we don't have to have this magical potion to change who they are. You know, this is what creates burnout, and that's what creates them to leave and not produce. So I'm in that 5% person, and I want everyone to do this. You know, I want everyone to feel as good as I do. I want everybody to see the financial success that I have. I want everyone to dream bigger for their lives. But at the end of the day, unless they want it, they won't. Unless they figure this out on their own, they'll never do it. And we all need to remember as we go off this call is that we need to meet people where they are. We need to not, and at the same time, when those people tell you that they're one of the 80% or the 15%, it's okay to accept them there, but it's also making sure that you don't settle. Meet them where they are, but then you get your butt out there and you go find those 5%ers that you are looking for that already exist, that are waiting for your invite. So to end this thing, I made a decision, and I admitted all of this to my team. And that was the hardest thing I ever had to do, was to write a giant post and throw it in my team page and tell them that I was sorry. I didn't apologize. I don't apologize for things, but I owned it. And thanks to Rachel Hall, she told me to stop apologizing. That's why I don't do that. That's what I meant by that. I'm not heartless. But I owned it. I said what was going on. And I told them everything I'm telling you, that I've held them back. And with 90 days left in this decade, which is like the craziest thing ever, 90 days left in this decade, I'm ready to let them go. And I'm ready to let them step into the coach that they have come into this business to be. And it's crazy because in a matter of 2 weeks of me doing this, I've had people emerge, step up, take action, lead groups that I never would have imagined in a million years would do it. I just want to leave you guys with this. They don't need another training. They don't need another form. They don't need another document. They need to grow. And for them to do that, you have to step back and you have to let them fly. That's what I got for you.
Thank you, Kels. I could not agree more. And it was so fun watching you and all the girls just like have these light bulb moments. And one of the things Kelsey said that I just want to point out is she didn't like hearing what she had to hear. And I think that's one of the toughest things as coaches is like, sometimes we just need to be showed the mirror. It needs to be exposed to us what we need to hear, not necessarily what we want to hear. And one of the things Rachel Hall has said at Summit that was so simple and so basic, but it is so true. We asked for hard. Like when we decided we wanted to live a different life, we chose hard. So you can do the bare minimum and not really show up for this and not really make much and not really grow this thing into anything. Then you're choosing easy, and that's fine. You can't expect much of it, but you want change. You want life to change. Utilizing this opportunity, you're asking for hard, so show up for it because it will provide for you. We actually have one more guest that we're going to pass it off to because we had Candice Rogers at the retreat as well, and she brought so much value to the retreat and so much. I don't know. I loved having her there, and it was a fresh new perspective, and she's someone that's continually advancing her business and bringing new people into her business. And I know she hates the fact that I'm making her talk tonight, but that's what I really love doing, is making Candice do things that she hates doing. So let's bring her on.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. I feel super unprepared for this. What exactly did you want me to share? Just how I felt about the retreat, or what I wanted to go in?
Yeah, just give us some value. Like, what was a takeaway for you that you think is something that like stuck out to you that what a lot of people in this business on this call might resonate with? Like, just anything. There's no wrong answer.
Honestly, my biggest takeaway, I went into this retreat I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, I'm not super familiar with like, hanging out with your team and stuff. So that was a whole nother challenge all on its own, but I was proud of myself for, stepping out of my comfort zone and just going with it. Obviously, being in a group of supportive people can never go wrong, right? I kind of came out of this retreat with a feeling that I'm on the right path. For a long time, not a long time, maybe the past year, it's just been really uncomfortable for me in this business. Like the growth and the change and everything has just felt really just like icky, because I feel like I'm just getting to the point of doing like some real crazy work, and just being surrounded by all the leaders and just hearing that I'm not the only one that, feels the pressure of just growth and getting to the next level felt really solidifying that, okay, this is like normal. Feeling the struggle of growth, and that it's not always pretty, and it's not always like, I'm really holding on to this right now, that every season serves a purpose, but not every single season is one of which we bloom. And that's kind of where I feel right now. I'm in a growth, awkward, uncomfortable stage, but I'm just embracing it. Something that I like that Colleen always says is just to embrace the suck. So that's kind of where I am. And my biggest takeaway that I absolutely just latched onto, that I wrote down, I don't know who said it at the retreat. It's just, what you've done to get you where you are now will not get you where you need to go. And I keep repeating that over and over, and I keep hearing it from different people. And it just is so relevant to pretty much every stage of this business, because at some point what I was doing, just kind of quit working. And I'm like, okay. And it's an opportunity for me to learn and grow and reinvent myself and get excited about something different in the business. And so now that's kind of what I've latched onto. I don't know what else you want me to share. I'm kind of feeling a little uncomfortable.
That means you're growing.
Yeah.
No, that was it. That's like spot on. And I love that quote that you shared about not every season, you're not going to bloom in every season. And I think that's what we put this expectation and this pressure on ourselves that, okay, we're in growth, we're studying, we're learning, we're applying, we're working really hard. Like, why aren't we seeing the fruits of our labor today? Why isn't this season producing fruit? And it's not always the case. Sometimes there are just those seasons that like you have to slog through, because if you don't, you won't gain the strength or the wisdom or the insight that you need for the next season where there will be fruit. So thank you for sharing it. Thank you for coming to the retreat, because I know that was something that was outside your comfort zone. And like I said, you brought immense value and an awesome energy to it, and a new perspective, and just this reminder that there is this opportunity for advancement. Like, you're in that place where you're constantly advancing and growing, and us old dogs appreciate seeing that too. I think like this is possible, we can keep pushing. So I think that was spot on. So thank you for sharing.
The fact that like, I think even new coaches, I feel like, can relate to this. Like, when things feel uncomfortable and they feel gross, I think just knowing that it's just part of growth, and like growth is put societally this message that it's beautiful and it's all happy and fun, and it can be. It has been, the results of it, like you said, the fruits of it is the fun part, but this is the real part where it matters, and it's not always pretty. And I think that reminding even new coaches of that, even if you feel like, gosh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, like, that's okay. And to just keep going, because there's been a lot of times during these growth stages where I'm like, can I do this? Yes, I can. And I have to really like root myself on. And that's kind of like where I am right now. And that never stops with me in this business. Even from the beginning as a brand new coach, I thought, can I do this? Oh my gosh. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And then rewriting that narrative in my head to like, absolutely, because she did it, you can do it. And that's exactly where I am again. And I feel like I'm never not going to be here at this this spot where I'm just like, oh my gosh, can I do this? Because it's scary. Leveling up is always scary, but it's so exciting and it's so fulfilling. But because, you know, my coach has done it, and because you've done it, and a lot of people on this team have done it, I'm like, I can do it. I can do this. And then I just follow in the footsteps. So that's definitely been something extremely important to me to keep reminding myself. The mere fact that Colleen's done it and you've done it means that it's possible, which means we can. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's why you're going to be epically successful in this and so many other things, is because you get that. Like, everybody on this team has evidence that it's possible, and no one that's done it ahead of you has anything that you don't have. It is about having a story, which we all have, and having the courage to believe in ourselves enough to push for it and envision it. So thank you so much, Candice, for sharing. And to all of you guys that came on tonight and shared, you're all so amazing, and I'm constantly learning from each and every one of you. I just feel so grateful to be surrounded by this incredible group of leaders and coaches that are on this journey with me. And it's not, you know, as much as I tend to become an island sometimes, you guys remind me that I am the best version of myself and happiest, most fulfilled version of myself when I am leaning into this community and all of you. So, and thank you guys for those that came on. I know this is a little bit longer call, but I wanted you to hear from everybody because I think it was so important. You guys brought so much value. So I'll put this recording up, you know, sometime in 2020 when my internet finally uploads it to YouTube, because you know how that works. But this team is amazing, and some of you guys have been messaging me asking for Amanda's mailing address. Let me see if that's something she's okay with me giving out, because I know a lot of you wanted to write her a note and let her know that we're behind her. But listen, the best thing aside from prayer and just sending all the positive energy you can to her and her boys, and connecting with her. I mean, it's a little bit of an overwhelming time right now, but one of the best things that you can do is show her what's possible. She has a long road ahead of her, and she knows that this business is amazing and that this could be the opportunity that gives her the ability to be home with her boys during this impossible time. Show her it's possible. That's the best gift you could give her. Connect with her, let her feel loved, and let her know that she, you know, we're here for her and that we're doing it and she can do it too. Just like Candice said, if we can do it, she can do it. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time tonight. Go get the work and go start it. And I hope you don't just pass out like my husband almost did, because it's no joke. I can hear him lurking in the background over there. Okay, have an awesome night, everybody. Take care, and thanks for hopping on.